Brent Bracelin, Senior Research Analyst at Pacific Crest Securities in Portland, who's a top-ranked analyst, joins us live right now. Brent, thank you very much for your time. Give us your first read and first thoughts on both of those companies, both Dell and HP.
Sure. So, as you look at kind of HP's results first, they pre-announced their results a week and a half ago, so there wasn't really a lot of surprises in the top line or bottom line numbers. The real surprise was the slowdown that we saw on the consumer side of the business. Growth there slowed from 25% year-over-year growth to 12% growth this quarter. That was actually offset by an acceleration in the enterprise side of the business that has now accelerated for 3 quarters in a row. So what you're seeing, I think, at HP, what you're seeing at Dell, is the enterprise parts of their business are in recovery mode. They are improving. What's not improving, unfortunately, is the consumer side of the business. Consumer demand for printers, consumer demand for PCs is starting to roll over.
So you're painting a fairly mixed picture, if I may say so, because on one hand, things are improving, but maybe not improving as fast as some bulls may like. So how would one portfolio manager position the portfolio in terms of technology shares at this point? Do you focus more on the consumers, or do you focus more on the business and the CapEx part?
Yeah, so I would say in the last week and a half, we've actually downgraded 5 of the enterprise hardware stocks on our coverage list, based on concerns that the kind of slowdown that you're seeing in the consumer side of the hardware market starts to spill and starts to impact enterprise spending. Now, we haven't really seen that show up yet, but that certainly is a concern. That's the fear out there, is the softness you're seeing in consumer over time starts to impact capital spending on the enterprise side as well. So we're actually taking a bit more of a cautious approach. We've had 5 quarters in a row where enterprise spending has been relatively strong. From the bottom, this is back in March of last year. So we've had 5 quarters of good, strong momentum here. Sounds like the risk-reward is starting to turn a little bit more negative as the demand picture becomes a little bit less clear. I think once we have a view on 2011 and what those IT budgets are.
Brent, I want to switch gears for just a bit and talk about HP and Mark Hurd. There's been so much speculation as to who may take his spot at HP. I just want to ask, from an analyst point of view, how much does that affect your an analysis of HP in terms of their overall strategy? Do you think it will affect their overall business during this time where they're searching for a new leader?
I don't think it will impact the company during this period of time. They certainly made a very good decision and a very extensive search when they went out and looked for Mark and found him. They're doing a similar extensive search now. I think the debate's going to be who they decide on. I think that's going to be a bigger debate when they actually name the new CEO and what they bring to the table.
All right, I'm sure a lot of folks out there is probably writing up their resumes right now for that top job. But one last question on Dell I want to ask you about. And the headlines read fairly positive, but the margins, of course, as you mentioned, are a real issue. How big of a problem are the margins going to be, and is it enough to see possibly more additional downgrades, at least from some investors out there?
Hard to say on the downgrade side relative to kind of the margin profile at Dell. I mean, they're clearly trying to buy their way into more profitable businesses. Obviously, they announced the acquisition of 3PAR that has very high gross margins, above 60%. So they're continuing to build out their technology portfolio, trying to look for higher margin products, mostly through M&A. So obviously, yeah, there's going to be some disappointment tomorrow on the margin side, but the company, I think, is doing the right things, trying to find more valuable technology products that have higher margins going forward.
All right, thank you very much, Brent, for your time. Brent Bracelin, their Senior Research Analyst at Pacific Crest Securities, joining us live from beautiful Portland, Oregon.